All right, traders. So it's been a few days since I posted a video, like 7 days. The last thing I was talking about was AUD USD shorts coming up, and then these sells over here. So as you can see, so I have a few things to cover. Yes, AUD CHF went in the direction that I anticipated. Um, this is a weekly level, so it bounced from there, created a double bottom. When I saw the double bottom on one account, I got out. On another account, the take profit was here, so that was nice. And the other one, the stop loss got hit, but only because I put it at break even which was weird. But even though I put it at break even, it still took a chunk off, but that's fine. What I wanted to talk about was refining my entries because I'm now realizing that there are really two whole chunks, two separate parts to my trading. There's an analysis part, which is done on the daily, weekly, and monthly, 4 month, everything else. And then there's the execution part, which is like the 1 hour, the 2 hour. But I didn't realize that I really had to pay attention to the 1 hour because I'm like, yeah, I can just get in. Doesn't really matter how I get in because I understand where the flow is going. It's true to an extent because if I put my stop loss in a shitty place, shitty things are going to happen. And then the move is going to continue without me. So I'm realizing now that not only do I have to wait for the whole setup on the daily, but then when that happens, I need to wait for a break of the 1 hour. Like, yes, it's going in my favor. Okay, cool. So the whole time when the daily, because this is a move that I'm actually gonna get into because it lines up with my my analysis. And I can go over it real quick. Starting from the monthly, whole thing's bearish. It's very clear. Drop down to the weekly. Ever since we created a level of support here, boom, boom, bearish candle, that solidifies sells to me. So when you come up, I understand that it's only a retracement. I'm going to look for weekly liquidity. I see some right here, and I see some right here. And now we're trading right under that level. So what we really just had was a daily resistance simply being rejected in the simplest way. And then to add Fibonacci on top of that. So now I have all four core elements of my trading. I have my weekly liquidity, I have my golden zone Fibonacci, I have my daily candle close, and I have my overall direction. So it's like, okay, cool. Yes, I see the last thing I need to see, which was a bearish candle close on the daily. But what I have been doing, which has been working for me, but I realize it's a little bit, I'm not taking full advantage of the move by not being patient enough. Because if I enter right after the daily candle close, my stop loss is gonna be fat as fuck for no reason, right? When really I can just then go to the 1 hour, say, okay, my signal to tell me that my 1 hour setup is beginning to form is I need to see a break of resistance. I understand that we're bearish. I see these lower highs. I see these lower highs. I see these lower highs. But I can't make that distract me from the fact that I'm still gonna get a smaller time pullback, a smaller time frame pullback, which is on the hourly. And I made sure across the past 11 trade ideas that I've taken, every single one of them have worked out. And if it didn't work out, it still gave me a pullback on the 1 hour despite being ghetto. But my fault was not actually understanding that on this time frame, I can get a more refined entry. And it's a smaller time frame, but it's based off of a really big time frame. And everything's confirmed on that time frame. So I'm safe to go ahead and go on smaller time frames. I'm still not going underneath the 1 hour time frame though. Like the 1 hour, 2 hour is the absolute lowest I'll go. Everything else is just for distraction and for theatrics, which I don't need in my life right now. Um, So yes, I pull out my fib on my 1 hour, my point A to my point B, And I'm waiting for it to come up to the 50% level or 61.8. And then I'm waiting to see a 1 hour engulfing or something, strong, so there's a 2 hour engulfing right here. This was an ADCHF trade, right? Had I had this criteria when I was trading this, I wouldn't have been able to take the cells that I took from right here, specifically at this level. I would have had to wait until one, we got the break, two, I actually wait, something like that. I actually wait for it to pull back to the golden zone. And three, I wait for a nice 1 hour engulfing or an extreme wicked candle, which would be this pin bar in this case. And I think that was one of the missing pieces of my strategy. Like my strategy is bomb. My strategy is fire. It's consistent and I think it's simple. The only thing you really have to have is patience and attention to detail. But aside from that, I think this is a magnificent system. But it's not for everybody because not everybody has the patience for it, and I get it. But I also like money, and I'd rather be patient and rich than impatient and in poverty. So after I get an engulfing, right? Because I feel like this could come up just a little bit more on the 1 hour. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. It's already hit the golden zone. So I'm just waiting for a candle close. If you want to go on the smaller time frames, sure. I think the thing would be to look for a double top on just like how it happened here, continuous rejections into this level. But again, I'm gonna stick to the 1 and the 2 hour, and then my trade should be here. I like to put my stop loss a little bit above the previous golden zone level, whether it's a 50% or 61.8. Usually I like to put it just past the 61.8, just in case. So yeah, this is what I'm looking for after I get my 1 hour candle close. Now let's talk about that stank ass S&P 500 trade that I took yesterday. And I don't even trade S&P. But so my main mistake was just not understanding that because this daily candle, the green one, was my signal that we were good to go, right? I have this last swing low up here to the swing high. And I was like, okay, cool. Oh, let's go back. When you look at it on the weekly and you saw where it was on the daily at the time, it was actually plenty above this. So I was like, oh, well, certainly we're going to continue bullish. So I literally fell into the trap. I fell into the trap. Blech. I fell into the trap. It's cool. I bought right here. That thing stank. Here again is how this criteria of waiting for the 1 hour setup would have saved me. If I say, okay, cool, I see everything I need to see on the daily time frame, in order to not have a really fat and unnecessarily large stop loss, I first have to wait for the 1 hour to break levels of support, like right here, to then start to come create support so I can, continue bullish. I don't think that, well, I might have. Actually, no, this was a little bit too late. I don't think I would have taken this trade had it closed like this because it would have had so much momentum. I probably would have wanted to wait for the 2 hour. But I will say this trade though, I think it's still coming. It's still coming because we're back on an actual weekly liquidity, right? If price can push up push down into this level more, because I don't think it's done it enough for me. It hasn't really done it into this zone right here. I need it to touch the top of that liquidity zone. If it does that, closes as a bullish candle, there's a very high chance I may come back and revisit S&P buys, but what I'm going to be doing different this time is one, the daily candle would have ended up, closing on top of the liquidity, which was my mistake yesterday. I thought this can, this candle, it should have been, it should have been like this. It wasn't. But at the time when I was looking at the 1 hour, it looked like it was really, really high up. So, um, but yeah, I would take this trade. I would just wait for the 1 hour to then break levels of support to then show me, pull back to the golden zone, show me some engulfings, and show me that you're going to continue bullish. Um, but yeah, so that's all that I have for you. Oh, AUD USD. I did not hold this, and I'm sad about it. But the trade idea was correct. Why? First of all, bro, the flow of the monthly is bearish. And we have a two monthly bearish engulfings. Also creating a double top. I promise you we're gonna head back down to 6,000 or six, whatever, this, right? All the way down here. From here, we will reach new lower lows, or at least come down here. So that's that on that. And this is why I like to look at the 4 months. Look at how clean that is. There's no questions about what direction we're going in. It's one direction. So right now I don't really see anything else. I took profit on my GJ trade with 500 pips. That was a really, really nice trade. But and then EN, I don't really see anything else coming aside from if price can come up to here, which I've been looking at it for a while. If it can pop back up here, I will be looking for some sells. Let's see how it looks. About 100%. And then 12 month plus days. I think that, yeah, weekly would be bearish. That'd be solid. It'd be really quick though. It'd probably be just a wick. So we will see. We'll see how that is. If I end up taking it, I'll come back on here and talk some talk. And if this closes as an engulfing, I'm getting into sells. All right. Happy trading, y'all.